Hi, I'm Jesse Ammett, your host of Valley News Now, and we have the third segment with Chad Harvard. This has been so great, Chad. He is Pinpoint Management Consulting. Thank you again for taking time to be with us.
Thanks, Jesse.
I appreciate it. So the third point in the 3 point series of things that we could be doing as small business owners, as entrepreneurs, to kind of maybe get out of our own way and do things correctly.
Yes, absolutely. Well, this is probably they're all equally important, but if we don't do this one, it doesn't matter what we did with the first few tools. So if you remember, the first tool was focusing on what we can control, which
Yes.
included knowing where we are going, knowing our destination,
Yep.
and being able to predict where am I taking the bus in the first place.
Yeah.
Then once we know the destination, we need to know the math. And we talked about the GPS and charting the course and using and watching our measurements, knowing our numbers to predictably end up in a timely fashion. At that point, be lifestyle and endpoint of owning my business. The third is execution. And
Yeah.
this if is super vital in that we can make the best plans in the world. We can have it sharp put into our GPS. But if we fail to execute and act on the plan, we'll sit in the parking lot and not get anywhere closer than the person that has no destination and is just driving in circles. Same end result. So, execution. So, let's talk about execution for a minute.
Okay.
And I usually use a story, an analogy of a monkey for
All
this.
right.
And it's super interesting. There's a dynamic where if you know how they catch monkeys, they will put their favorite food in a log or a tree. Their favorite food is actually not bananas, it's peanuts. They can smell them from a
Really?
long ways away. They will smell the peanuts, put their hand into the tree or the log and grab the handful of peanuts, and then they try to take their hand back out. They can't get their hand back out unless they let go of the peanuts.
Oh.
The crazy thing is, once they have them in their hand, they will not let go, no matter what. They can put other food just out of arm's reach by the monkey. They will not let go. The peanuts will actually go moldy in their hand. They'll hold on to them so long.
Oh my goodness.
And it's crazy. And the deep underlying reason is in their mind, the peanuts represent life. They represent survival. And in
Mm,
their mind, if I let go of these, I will die. I will not survive, which is a possibility. But if they never let go, they are guaranteed to die holding on to them.
yeah.
And as crazy as that sounds, I see that behavior in
Mm,
business and business owners all the time. Moldy peanuts in the form of people on payrolls that are never going to hit their target, but for whatever reason, they kind of give me some results. So we don't let them go. We
sure.
keep hanging on to it. Our pricing, believe it or not, I talked to a business owner who was super busy, not making money. I said, when's the last time you raised your prices? And he said, 10 years ago. I said, there's no way you can make money not raising
No.
your prices after 10 years with just inflation alone. I said, you need to raise 20% if you want to make profit right now. And he said, I can't. I've got these customers that are my moldy customers that I can't let go of because if I raise my prices, I might not get them as customers. So he'll go down with the ship, holding on to customers that can't afford a ticket on his bus. Um, we've got marketing. It might be marketing that doesn't work. It might be just my simple, my ego that I don't want to admit that I don't know everything about my business. But
Yeah.
here's the big one. This is the clincher, I think, is fear of failure. We are afraid that if I make a change, if I shift, if I let go of something that I'm at least familiar with, what if the next thing doesn't work? What if the next person's even worse than the person I'm letting go of?
Yeah.
Or the next marketing campaign gives me less leads than that I'm currently getting. That might be the case, but the key is we've got to let go of it because what we do know, just like the monkey, what we're holding on to isn't working either. And
No.
the longer I keep doing that, this the my destination's already decided for me. So we need to shift the the concept of failure that everybody has to learning. Because what we gain from things not working out the way we originally planned is information and knowledge. And so we want to move from the monkey trap to the monkey bars. If you remember doing these, Jesse, I do them now, and it's super painful, actually, at my age.
I'm impressed that you do them now, actually. I haven't tried monkey bars in many, many, many years, decades, in fact.
Yes, it's crazy what was a lot easier back then. But the monkey bars are interesting. In business, in growing business, our objective is to get to the other side of the monkey bars. But in order to do that, you have to commit to letting go of the bar you're on and swinging to the next and repeating and repeating and repeating until you arrive at the end.
True.
And holding on to the way I'm doing business today is no different than holding on to the first bar, but really wanting to get to that other side.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to let go of what I'm familiar with. And so it really is like that. So it's knowing I'm going to have to, what got me here won't get me there. A $1 million company will be different from a $2 million company, and a $3 million and a $5 million. And eventually you're going to have to let go of whatever got you to the level you're at. So then it's a function of how fast can I learn? How fast can I let go and adapt? Versus, because that's the difference maker, I believe, in surviving companies and thriving companies. We all have the same 24-hour day. We all have the same economy. The difference with the thriving businesses that eventually move to Fortune 500 companies is they move fast. They learn fast. They usually learn one time, not 10 times the same lesson. And they know how to move quickly, grab what they learned, and then they know what they're getting next. So the next bar on the monkey bar might be a person. It's like, okay, that we've outgrown that salesperson or that manager. So who do we need next? What's the skill set? What types of results do we need? That marketing is no longer working. What would work? What should we try? And what are the numbers? Again, knowing your math. What would we need to adjust to? So you know what you're grabbing onto, what you're moving to next. And so rules established up front for change are knowing your results, knowing the results that you're looking for in advance, knowing that there's no sacred cows, that nothing, including us as the owner, is off the table on these things that we need to make changes to and make adjust and learn from and make movements, and including price, including business model. All of those things are on the table, and we're committed to learning and evolving as fast as possible. Once I do that, when I commit to that, now I've shifted from, for example, holding on to somebody for a full year and paying them, knowing they're never going to be a fit long term, and instead making that change in the first month. And the second person wasn't good either. Third person, but by the fourth person, they actually tripled the best day of the first person. But to get there, I had to make multiple changes faster to arrive, versus holding on to things that kind of work and hope that that's going to somehow be enough over time, because it just never will. No. And this right here is why I believe most businesses stay stagnant. They kind of coast and they never move to a new level, because they are still doing business and the critical decisions are still essentially the same as they did them 5-10 years ago. And so nothing really changes in their world. So if we can adapt to moving, and if the objective is, let's plan on change, let's plan on learning, it's not failing, it's learning, and we're going to do it as fast as possible, not take as much time as we possibly can to do this. Now we predict us arriving at our destination and doing it much quicker. When I work with business owners, I ask them, do you want as much time as possible at the end of those monkey bars when you're the youngest and you can enjoy what's on the other side of that? Or do you want to take the longest route possible and use the maximum amount of time? Well, obviously they want the soonest possible. Well, then that means we've got to compress time. We need to execute quicker, learn faster, and be committed to cutting our time in half, cutting it in half. And when's the soonest we can have enough information to know what our next decision is going to be? And then we're committed to, testing this marketing for 30 days. And if it doesn't work, we're not going to double down on it. We've already got the next thing in place that we're going to try until we arrive at the thing that does work at the level that we need to. So that's how we predict velocity in business, and how businesses can outpace industries and competition, is because they just simply commit to learning and evolving and letting go of what got us here, knowing that to get me to the other side of the monkey bars, there's stuff that I don't even know right now, but I'm committed to learning it quicker.
Yeah, that is it's an incredible analogy, really, because you've got to do that. Like with so many things in life, you got to be willing to let go that thing that was kind of okay for something that might be way better. But it is a commitment. You kind of need someone on your team like yourself to help cheerleader you on. Like, yes, you can do it. You can let go of that employee, or like you said, everything's on the table. Everything is on the table if you want that to succeed. So that's very cool. Yeah, execution is a pretty big one.
Yes, and you touched on it, because that's the emotional part that's tricky for them, is they don't know, what if I let go though? Is it going to be okay? Is everything going to come crashing? Or I don't know what of the things to let go of. And this is where that blinder that I talked about in the previous segment, it really becomes an issue, because we know what we're familiar with, and so we'll just keep hanging out in that space. Right. But having an outside set of eyes that, I know you're kind of freaking out right now, it feels like a free fall. It's going to be okay. Yeah. This is the next thing to let go of, and here's what we're going for next and why. And then it's still going to be a little bit nervous, but because it's changed. But at least I can feel safe moving forward when I've got another set of eyes to kind of direct my path.
Yeah, exactly. To kind of direct and go, yep, this looks like a good place. I loved what you said too, that that we get that fear of failure, kind of like the monkey holding on to the peanuts, that we're like so afraid to let go of something, and that thing is actually hurting us. But we gotta be, we're gonna fail when we try things. We're gonna fail sometimes, but then again, you've got someone next to you to say, okay, let's pivot, we'll do a new direction, find a new direction with the monkey bars there. And the next thing that, like you said, committed to learning those new things. So, so good.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
You've got some conferences too. We've kind of been talking in between the segments about the conferences that you have. And I'm just going to roll some B-roll. And if you want to maybe just talk a little bit about what we're seeing, your conferences, and how you can do that for businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things we do, we've got different facets with our program. All of it's very supportive, talking about this, support. We believe you need good information, and you also need a good strategist that knows what they're talking about, that's certified to move, help you, talk you through to the next level that you're trying to get to. And so we've got one-on-one engagements. We have summits. These are success summits that you're looking at, where we will bring in all of our clients for a full day training, where they get to interact with each other, form relationships, learn new tools, new bonus information, and we work at those. It's not just talking heads on a stage. You actually are developing processes, systems, measurements for your business. So you walk out of that summit holding some next step critical components to execute at a higher level, and where you're headed, why you're going there, and how you're going to get there.
That is so cool, and that is exactly what we need. Are those things, that support that's there. I'm going to show some pictures too. We've got so much. And so this is your team, did you say?
Yes, this is our team, and we just recently had one of those summits. It was a sales summit, and these are all of our clients and the attendees of the summit that came and spent the day with us, in addition to our Pinpoint team to help support them in what we were going for there. So we just had that on August 11th.
Awesome. And like you said, it's not just talking heads. Going through these pictures, you're a pretty animated speaker. There's some really great pictures of you in there.
Yes,
it looks like a lot of fun.
Yes, it's a lot of fun. That's funny you mentioned that. I often say if you tied my hands together, I wouldn't have a thing to say. But if I can move my hands, and my kids know this too, they're the same. I have to be walking in circles in order to talk and think too. So, yep, I use a lot of animation when I do my training.
That's good. That helps keep everybody interested, and especially when you come back from lunch, it's always a little difficult, right? For
It
that.
is, yes.
Oh, that is awesome. So I'm going to put up that graphic again about how we get in touch with you. And I know we mentioned it at the last segment, but if you just want to talk a little bit about that and some of the services you provide, that would be amazing, because I really so
Absolutely.
appreciate all of this information, but want people to be able to get in touch with you as well.
Yes, fantastic. Multiple ways. So you can find me on LinkedIn under Chad Harward. Our website is ppmanagement.com. You can schedule time with me at chatwithpinpoint.com. That goes right to my calendar. You can schedule time that works for you for us to take a look at your business and your goals. Happy to do that. You could call us at 801 876 5859. We've also got a Facebook page. We're all over on social media. Lots of good content where we've done some little mini snippets of business training concepts. My wife and I just came back from England. I even did some business analogy
Oh, cool.
snippets, business under Big Ben, and lots of cool analogies of things that we were enjoying on that trip.
That's awesome.
If you know anything about me, my kids know it's like Dad's got 1,000 pictures a day. I will video and picture everything and come up with some kind of business meaning behind it.
Oh, I
But
love that.
all kinds of resources. We want to make sure you have what you need. We are committed that every business owner gets all of the time and money freedom they wanted when they started out on their journey, driving their bus, and that there truly is light at the end of the tunnel and a
Yeah.
predictable end in mind of a great outcome for them.
Oh, so inspiring and hopeful. I think a lot of businesses, and we kind of didn't maybe touch on this too much, but a lot of small businesses really struggled during these last few years. And even if they made it through COVID, they're still kind of in that recovery zone. And I think, like you said, they're hanging on to things that kind of work because they're a little bit afraid. I don't want to go under. And so this is perfect, very timely information for everyone that's struggling, that can get in touch with you. So I just hope to make that connection, Chad. I appreciate your time so much. It's just been very insightful for me. Like I said, I feel like I got my own personal seminar. It's kind of amazing.
Thank you, Jesse. I've enjoyed having the opportunity, and anything we can do, we're happy to help.
Wonderful. Yes, and I'd love to have you back anytime too. So thanks again. So again, it is Chad Harwood from Pinpoint Management Consulting, and I am Jesse Ammett, your host of Valley News Now.